Hello dear students, in this session let us discuss the topic of strain displacement relation, okay, or derive the expression for Green's deformation tensor and Green's strain tensor in terms of displacement of continuum. Here we are not study the topic of shear stress. Why? Because we are least bothered about the orientation of the angles. We are just concerned about the change in length. Okay, so this is the diagram I have considered. Here this P naught is the initial position in my initial configuration, say B naught, and P is the final position of final position in final configuration or current configuration, say B of T. This is the fixed origin. So if you observe this figure, you can write OP naught is nothing but vector x naught and OP is nothing but vector x. Okay, this is what we have defined. From P naught to P, the displacement of position P naught to P, I have denoted that by vector u. Okay, now using triangular law of vectors, I can write P naught or P naught P is equal to OP minus OP naught. So I know what is OP naught, what is OP, and what is PP naught. Substitute here. P naught P is nothing but vector u, which is equal to OP is vector x minus vector x naught. I will call this as equation number 1. Now apply del naught on both sides. Apply del naught on both sides. What you will get? Del naught u is equal to del naught vector x minus del naught vector x naught. Using deformation gradient tensor, you can go through your notes. Del naught x is nothing but f in deformation gradient tensor if we consider in material form. Since this del naught u is the displacement gradient in material form, I can write del naught u is equal to f minus my x naught is a unit vector, so del naught upon unit vector is nothing but I, because del naught x is equal to f, where del naught u is the displacement gradient in material form. Okay, material form. So if I rewrite this equation, what I will get? F is equal to del naught u plus I. I will call this as equation number 2. So if I write this in suffix notation, I will get x I comma j is equal to u I comma j plus delta ij. So if I is equal to j, this will become 1. If I is not equal to j, this I becomes 0. Okay. Why we have expressed f in terms of x? Because your f is nothing but del naught of x. Correct? So if you write del naught x in suffix notation, it is nothing but xi comma j. So in general, from here I have written xi comma j. What we have to do, we have to derive an expression for Green's deformation tensor. For Green's deformation tensor, we have denoted the symbol C, correct? So we have a formula, or we have an expression C is equal to FTF. From equation 2, I have an expression for F. So I can write C is equal to del naught u plus I whole transpose into del naught u plus I. Simplify this, you will get an expression for C, which is nothing but Green's deformation tensor. If you simplify this, this is what you will get, right? I transpose is nothing but I, del naught u transpose is del naught u whole transpose. So I have just multiplied these two terms. Now del naught u transpose into del naught u plus I into del naught u is del naught u itself, plus I into del naught u transpose is del naught u transpose itself. I dot I is I. Now write this in suffix notation, okay? Using suffix notation, what you will get? Ci comma j, Cij is equal to del naught u transpose means it is u j comma I, and del naught u is nothing but u I comma j. So transpose is nothing but your rows and columns gets interchanged, correct? So this is u I comma j, transpose is u j comma I, plus u I comma j plus u j comma I plus delta ij. This is nothing but your C, which is nothing but Green's deformation tensor. Using C, now I have to find out displacement strain tensor. Again we know the expression for G, that is deformation strain tensor. Now I can write that as Green's strain tensor I have to find out, right? That is, I can denote that by G. G is equal to half into C minus I. You know the value of C, just substitute here and solve this. G is equal to half into C is del naught u whole transpose into del naught u plus del naught u plus del naught u transpose plus I, and this is minus I. So I gets cancelled. You will get G is equal to half into del naught u whole transpose into del naught u plus del naught u plus del naught u whole transpose. Now write this in suffix notation. What you will get? Gij is equal to half into uj comma I into ui comma j plus ui comma j plus uj comma I. This is nothing but here Gij is called components of material displacement strain tensor. Displacement strain tensor. Till here we have discussed in the case of material description. Now let us move to spatial description. Again consider from the figure, that is vector u is equal to vector x minus vector x naught. How I have written this? Using triangular law of vectors, correct? So now apply del on both sides. Apply del on both sides. You will get del u is equal to del x minus del x naught. I will write del u as it is. Del x is nothing but I, since x is my unit vector, minus del x naught from deformation gradient tensor in spatial form. This is nothing but F inverse. Write expression for F inverse. You will get I minus del u. Okay, call this as equation number 3. Using Cauchy deformation tensor, I can write B inverse is equal to F inverse whole transpose into F inverse. Correct? So from Finger's deformation tensor, it is B is equal to F transpose into F. If I consider Cauchy's deformation tensor, it is B inverse is equal to F inverse whole transpose into F inverse. From equation 3, I have F inverse. Substitute here, you will get I minus del U whole transpose into I minus del U. So you will get I minus del U transpose into I minus del U. If you simplify this, you will get I minus del U minus del U transpose plus del U transpose into del U. This B inverse leads you to find out what is A. So we have A is equal to half into I minus B inverse. From the above, I know what is B inverse. Correct? Substitute that here. I minus del U minus del U whole transpose plus del U whole transpose into del U. This I gets cancelled. You will get half into del U plus del U whole transpose minus del U whole transpose into del U. Now this expression is nothing but strain displacement relation in spatial description. Okay, this is called strain displacement relation in spatial description. Using suffix notation, your equation 3, 4 and 5 become ui comma j is equal to delta ij minus x naught I comma j. Bij inverse is equal to delta ij minus ui comma j minus uj comma I plus uk comma I uk comma j. And the last one, aij is equal to half into ui comma j plus uj comma I minus uk comma I uk comma j. This is all about strain displacement relation. So now using these B inverse, A, F inverse, you can solve some problems. So that is basically using strain displacement relation, you can solve some problems. Okay, let's get into that. Here is the statement of the problem. Show that J is equal to determinant of I plus delta naught U, del naught U, and hence deduce that the deformation for which the displacements are U1 is equal to x1 plus x2, U2 is equal to x1 minus x2, and U3 is equal to 2x3 is an isochoric. So first let us remember what is the definition of an isochoric. That is after deformation and before deformation. That means if your body undergoes deformation, there should be no change in volume. Correct? We have seen that condition. J is equal to dV by dV naught. If J is equal to, that is determinant is equal to 1, what will happen? dV is equal to dV naught. That means after deformation and in initial condition, if you compare those two, there will be no change in volume. So we have to prove J is equal to 1. First let's prove this part, and using this displacements let's prove that the given deformation is an isochoric. Okay, we have this relation f is equal to I plus del naught u. Now apply determinant on both sides. Okay, apply determinant on both sides. What you will get, it will become determinant of f is equal to determinant of I plus del naught u. We know that determinant of f is nothing but j, so you will get j is equal to determinant of I plus del naught u. So first part is over. Now I have to prove that this displacement is an isochoric, correct? Let's move to that now. We have u is equal to x minus x naught. So if you apply suffix notation to this, you will get ui is equal to xi minus xi naught. Why I am writing this way is because here I have, in the second part, I have to verify that whether j is equal to 1 or not. That means I have to find out this value, and and if I take determinant of this, I should get 1. Okay, here del naught u is actually, what is del naught u? It is displacement gradient in material form. So if I express my u in terms of xi minus xi naught, I will get equation in terms of material form. I have to find out the equations in material form, and then I should take partial derivatives of those two, of all those material forms equation. Okay, so what we have, u1 is equal to x1 plus x2. Substitute here, if I is equal to 1, this equation becomes x1 plus x2 is equal to x1 minus x1 naught. Solve this now. What you will get? You will get x1 naught is equal to minus x2. This is if I is equal to 1. If I is equal to 2, what you will get? u2, we have u2 is equal to x1 minus x2. So it will become x1 minus x2 is equal to x2 minus x2 naught. That means x1 minus 2x2 is equal to minus x2 naught. This implies x2 naught is equal to 2x2 minus x1. If I is equal to 3, this is given, u3 is equal to 2x3. So what will happen? 2x3 is equal to x3 minus x3 naught. That means x3 naught is equal to x3. So now you got the solution in terms of material form, x1 naught, x2 naught as well as x3 naught. Now substitute these values in your equations. That means, so you got what is x1, what is x2. Substitute here so that you will get your u in terms of material forms. Okay, you can observe here, this is the given thing, u1 is equal to x1 plus x2. So we have found the values of x1 and x2. x1 is nothing but, observe here, your x1 is, this implies x1 is nothing but 2x2 minus x2 naught. Correct? I have shifted this term to left hand side and x2 naught to my right hand side. Again I have to substitute for x2. So using this, what is x2? x2 is minus x1 naught. So you will get x1 is equal to minus 2x1 naught minus x2 naught. This is what I have substituted here. And this minus x1 naught as it is. So if you simplify this, you will get minus 3x1 naught minus x2 naught. I have taken minus outside, so it will become minus of 3x1 naught plus x2 naught. Now what is u2? u2 is nothing but x1 minus x2. Again if you simplify, what is x1? x1 is minus 2x1 naught minus x2 naught, correct? Yes. And what is minus x2? It is plus x1 naught. So u2 becomes minus x2 naught minus x1 naught. If you take out minus outside, you will get x1 naught plus x2 naught. This is your u2. u3 is 2x3. x3 is nothing but x3 naught. So u3 become 2x3 naught. Now using these values, find out del naught u. What is del naught? How you can express that? It is a matrix of dou u1 by dou x1 naught, dou u1 by dou x2 naught, dou u1 by dou x3 naught, dou u2 by dou x1 naught, dou u2 by dou x2 naught, dou u2 by dou x3 naught, dou u3 by dou x1 naught, dou u3 by dou x2 naught, and dou u3 by dou x3 naught. So you know the values of u1, u2, u3. Differentiate those values with respect to x1 naught, x2 naught as well as x3 naught. I will write the values directly. You will get minus 3, minus 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1, 0, 0, 0, minus 2. This is your del naught u. Okay. If you take determinant of that, minus 3, minus 1, 0, minus 1, minus 1, 0, 0, 0, minus 2. If you take determinant of this, you will get minus 3 into 2 minus 0 plus 1 into 2 plus 0. So 3 2s are 6, minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. You will get minus 4. Okay. Now what I should do is, I should find out what is I plus del naught u, and after that I should take determinant of this. Okay. What is I if 3 cross 3 matrix? It is 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 plus I know what is del naught u. It is minus 3 minus 1 0 minus 1 minus 1 0 and 0 0 minus 2. Add these two matrix, you will get 1 minus 3 is minus 2, 0 minus 1 is minus 1, 0 minus 1, 0 0 0 0 minus 1. This is my I plus del naught u. Now find out what is determinant of I plus del naught u. If this is equal to 1, that means your deformation is an isochoric deformation. Okay. What you will get? Minus 2 into, it is 0, minus plus 1 into 1 minus 0 plus 0. So this will become 0. 1 into 1 is 1. That is j is equal to 1. Therefore, your deformation is an isochoric deformation. The next type of deformation is infinitesimal deformation. Okay. This deformation is such that you will take partial derivatives of your displacement, correct? You can observe here. So here what I have done, I have taken the differentiation of your displacements. u1 here one of the displacement. So I have taken the derivatives of that displacement with respect to x1 naught, x2 naught, x3 naught. Similarly for u2 as well as u3. If these values are very small, okay, and if their squares and product may be neglected, that much small we are considering. Okay, if the derivatives are so small that their squares and product may be neglected, such a deformation we call it as infinitesimal deformation. I repeat the definition once again. If the deformation is such that the derivatives of the displacement components are so small that their squares and products may be neglected, such a deformation is called infinitesimal deformation or small deformation. If I want to give an example, consider if your u is equal to some 0.5 x1 naught, okay. What you will do, you will differentiate this, correct? So dou u1 by dou x1 naught is nothing but 0.5. Now you can observe, if you take square of this, it is even more less value, even lesser value. If you multiply this value with some other value of the same range, that is also smaller value. So that means you can neglect that values. Such deformation is called as infinitesimal deformation. Okay. Now I will consider your one of the expression, that is G is equal to half into del naught u plus del naught u whole transpose plus del naught u whole transpose into del naught u. If I say, you will get this expression for an infinitesimal deformation, that means the product of these two terms you have to neglect these two. That means product of these two can be neglected. Why? Because infinitesimal deformation, from the definition itself, it says you can neglect the squares and products of the component. Correct? So what you will get? G is almost equal to half into del naught u plus del naught u whole transpose. Here this G is called as linearized Cauchy's strain tensor, and it is denoted by small e, okay. That means, this is denoted by capital E, and if you write it in a suffix notation, you will get Eij is equal to half into Ui, j plus Uj, I. Again, if you apply this infinitesimal deformation to your rotation tensor, you will get omega is equal to half into del naught u minus del naught u whole transpose, which is a rotation tensor, okay, which is a rotation tensor. So if you want to write this in a suffix notation, what you will get? Omega ij is equal to half into Ui, j minus Uj, I. This is a rotation tensor. If you want to write rotation vector is given by omega is equal to half into curl u, okay. This will be almost equal to half into curl naught u. This curl naught u is taken with respect to xi naught, that is in material form. So this is, I have written omega in suffix notation. If omega is 0, we call that deformation as a pure deformation, and if E is equal to 0, we call such deformation as a pure rotation deformation, okay. Now in equation 1 substitute I is equal to j or fix I is equal to j. What you will get? You will get EII is equal to half into ui comma I plus ui comma I. So 2 ui comma I by 2 is just ui comma I. That is nothing but EII is equal to ui comma I. If EII is equal to ui comma I, then we call such deformation as dilatation. Okay. This is the condition for dilatation. If you fix I is equal to j, you will get EII is equal to ui comma I. Such deformation is called as dilatation. The geometrical meaning of dilatation is we have this relation, correct? J is equal to dv by dv naught, and also this relation j is equal to 1 plus ekk. Now substitute 1 plus ekk here, you will get 1 plus ekk is equal to dv by dv naught. If you solve for ekk, you will get dv minus dv naught by dv naught. What does it say? It says that your ekk represents the change in volume with respect to or per unit volume. Per unit initial volume is nothing but ekk. Okay, that is nothing but dilatation. Now if this j is equal to 1 means ekk becomes 0, and if ekk is equal to 0, what I can say? Such deformation is nothing but such deformation implies that dilatation is 0. If j is equal to 1, this equation become 1 is equal to 1 plus ekk. So you will get ekk is equal to 0. That means there is no dilatation. Okay. This is all about strain displacement relation, dilatation relation and all. In the next session, I will solve some 2-3 problems on this topic. Thank you.